This is 0.22.
Now do it real. It's your gauges. Oh my God, that's really bad.
You start with this bolt. You want to use both hands, okay? And now you're going to stand back there. You don't need to... Okay. Now you stand behind it. There you go. Oh, now I'm impressed.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
Like on a Toyota.
That's where you need to look. Okay, I think there are Toyota engines out there which don't look that good after 270.
Now we have to take out the injectors and all the diesel junk. That's not fun.
Yes, this video will be about taking out the injectors and the diesel junk. So let's start with that.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'll bet there are no chips whatsoever.
Oh,
Dropped in the oil.
dropped in the oil.
And let me see. There's nothing flaky inside. 270,000 on a Discovery 3.
We probably open up this engine and it would have run another 500,000.
It's all your fault now.
No, it's your fault. Now we drained the oil about a week and a half ago and now we're going to loosen the oil filter. And if my check valve in the oil filter housing is still good, we will see oil run down there now. There it is.
Oh, you see it flowing here so I don't get a new oil filter housing?
No.
Oh, now it's coming down here.
Yeah.
So he takes out the oil filter.
There we go. Yeah?
Yeah, I hope you can see it because
Very
I'm
well.
too short. Here, Christian left my step in our pit and now the pit is closed. 17-year-old brittle plastic. Please don't break anything.
Cracking the fuel injector lines. There is the fuel rail.
Take care of your fuel system components because you want your engine to start again.
Oops. And this is the oil return pipe, I think.
Yep.
And you gotta pack those two in plastic bags.
Oh, yeah. So he's removing the little clips from the diesel return line. Perfect.
Okay. Plastic stuff, 16 years old. There it is. So here's the diesel return line. You can see here, I got all my fuel lines immediately plugged. I don't want to leave them open. As soon as I take something out, I gotta plug them so no dirt gets in.
Yes. Yeah, putting caps on the injectors.
There we go. Okay, let's see if they come out without cracking anything after 17 years. Okay, this is 2. Last one. Coming out by hand. Which is a good sign. Maybe not. Oh, got this one.
Look at that, how it's... Oh, shit.
Ooh, do you think there's supposed to be an O-ring here?
Why is it so rusted?
Well, because it's steel. Take this or take this.
Oh, my God. That's really bad.
Okay, 5 is out.
Okay, wait a second.
5 is not in a bad shape.
Yeah. Number 4.
So we got them all out without using any tool. That's a good sign in my opinion.
So you have to mark your injectors. Don't just take them out and put them somewhere.
Ooh. See, there's oil in here. Definitely.
Oh my God. I already got a new belt. And a new tensioner.
Yeah, I replaced this belt with 140,000.
Yeah. The rear camshaft wheel.
This bolt will be reused. Up to
Oh, really?
3 times. Only the front we opened before, so we'll reuse this one. Glow plug connector.
Oh, right. It has 2 sides.
Yeah. There we go.
Don't drop it.
High pressure fuel pump.
No, put it in here.
Ours is still perfect because it's an EU2. Okay.
And it wasn't cracked.
It wasn't leaking.
Perfect. Everything looking so beautiful.
Okay, there we go.
Perfect.
Looking good. That engine would have run forever.
And you opened it up.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was a dumb idea.
So we just replaced this part on Joachim's engine.
And we already bought the spare.
Yes.
There we go. Well, the O-ring looks pretty flat.
I would like to get a new one.
Yes, you will get a new one.
Good.
I will get you that for Christmas.
Removing the oil cooler and oil filter housing.
Zap, zap, zap.
Oh, I'm running out of battery.
Okay, I think I got it.
Oh, 3%. Oh.
Okay. There we go. You also don't need a new diesel cooler. You're just gonna get a little O-ring for Christmas.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
this one here. So apparently Vera is complaining that it's not a funny job. So I gotta break something to make it funnier. I'm sorry, it didn't break.
All the right-hand stuff on that side. For the lifters and all that stuff. Gotta be labeled.
If you use locking pins without a handle on them, you can actually take these off without removing the locking pins.
Removing the vacuum pump. Oh, don't break it.
Okay, there's this O-ring what you gotta replace. And Vera wants me to be funny. So I'm
It's
gonna
not happening today.
Okay, these parts are all labeled by Land Rover, but the marking is usually very difficult to see. So I put them on just like we have them here. This way I'm not risking that Ford marked them badly and I got them later on all screwed up. So I lift these out together and those are the left ones. We are going to replace this chain with a genuine one.
Yep.
Oh, this is beautiful. Look at that. You know, we should find something where we can make the video like, oh, if we wouldn't have touched that, it would have really blown up. Let's do the other side.
Yep. Perfect.
The perfect condition camshaft.
You dropped the spring.
So enjoyable.
So that is apparently more work than Christian thought.
We're gonna take the cylinder head off.
Yes.
Now.
So maybe I should open those bolts.
Not even one you're gonna open. I'm gonna open the first cylinder head and then we're gonna watch Vera open the second one. I turn this engine usually a little bit on the side. There. I'm opening them from the outside towards the inside in 2 stages.
I think it will be no problem for me.
I'm looking all clean.
Yes.
And you look like you're doing all the work.
Yes.
Now I do the second go around and I get them all the way loose.
We have new bolts. Victor Rents, made by Dana or purchased by Dana.
Now we're gonna take the cylinder head off.
Oh, really?
And you guys can still put the beds in, okay?
Okay. Now we have 3 sets of 6 bolts. Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
Like on a Toyota.
That's where you need to look.
Oh, like new. Just a little bit dirty. Where is that dust coming from?
That fell through the injector. That was a corroded injector and it fell in.
Oh, okay.
Look at the pattern, the burn pattern. Perfect, okay?
Perfect.
This engine would have lasted at least as long as a Toyota. No cylinder head leak like on a Toyota.
Exactly.
Okay. Unfortunately, no problem here.
Oh.
And I can still see horizontal scratches from the honing marks when I light in here.
It's so smooth.
Oh, it's so smooth. It's unbelievable.
Ah, you broke my engine, Christian.
Yes, I did. Now what we're gonna do right away is protect this because this is extremely sensitive for rust and corrosion.
Okay. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's so humid outside. It's raining all the time.
I'm gonna give you exact directions, okay? Here, take the biggest ratchet we have. You start with this bolt.
Can I go from
No,
here?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oops.
You can turn it around. You're always gonna come back to that point. You wanna use both hands, okay? And now you're gonna stand back there. You don't need to... Okay, this video is gonna extend now by a few hours. So, now you don't touch the engine block. No, you stand behind it. Oh, now I'm impressed. Make sure it's all the way seated. That looks almost like it's easier than when I did it. Okay, this is premium content now. I can't believe it. My shoulder was hurting after. Jeez. Maybe those bolts were not tight.
You hear them clicking. You hear that? Okay.
No, why do you turn it around every time? You can pull it back out. Why don't women know that? Oh, she got them all. Here. I'm just making it complicated, okay? Doesn't really matter.
I'm gonna close them also.
No, you don't.
Yes, I will. You're gonna ruin it.
There we go.
Ooh. There's a lot more rust here on that rusty injector.
Look at the crosshatch pattern. Oh man, that looks like new. We're just gonna stick a bunch of new piston rings in and we're gonna be done.
And what about new pistons? While we're in there, I
don't think we're gonna find anywhere on those pistons.
Okay.
You know, check it out how to do.
Yeah.
Look, let's turn this one around.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Well, these are black and that's
this
not
is
black. Oh, that's the
beautiful.
rusty injector. Oh, that's where the injectors are coming in.
Oh, we learned something new now again. Here, let's check out this one. Oh, look at that. Look.
Oh, the glow plugs.
Look, there you can see which glow plugs are still working. Working. Not working,
Busted,
not
busted,
working, not
busted.
working. So we're done up here.
Yeah.
Let's turn it around.
Oh, really?
We're gonna measure torque to rotate, crankshaft and pistons only. I got this lightly looped with WD-40. What's your guess?
Well, on our Discovery 4 engine we built, it was 11 Newton meters. So I'll say 12.
Okay, I say 8.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 12. Damn it!
So it's
Wow,
15.
I lost. You say 15? 15. Limit by Land Rover is 25. 15 does it.
So let's go 14.
Wow, so we are on a runnable engine higher in the torque to rotate than on our rebuild, and we had tight spec on the LR4, remember?
Yeah.
Every clearance was tight spec. So that is a good sign for our LR4. Oh no, that's 13.
So 14 is a torque to rotate.
So we want to see when we have it completely rebuilt with new piston rings and everything and new bearings, that we do not exceed by much this torque to rotate, otherwise we would have something jammed inside this engine.
Now you can say that in 2 words, or in 4 we would have screwed up. Yeah.
Okay, this is beautiful. Look at that strainer. This looks like out of factory. Okay.
You won't be seeing a broken crankshaft.
You won't be seeing much damage here.
Oh, how small. That's where it usually breaks.
Okay, you already made a mess again.
Yeah.
Why don't you keep your hands away?
Did you get me new bolts also?
No, these
here?
bolts we're gonna reuse.
Okay.
2 more times.
And these?
I haven't ordered them, but I will.
Okay.
Carefully removed all the carbon buildup on the top of the cylinder walls, so when we push the pistons out, this way we don't scratch them. Piston number 1. Ready?
Oh, shit.
Well, look at that. So there's absolutely zero wear.
So what are we doing, Christian?
Well, we're wasting our time and we're making this engine worse, that's for sure.
Yeah. You dropped it.
Okay. Well, we may still have a little bit of wear. Making the engine worse and not better. There is visible wear on the upper conrod bearing. Look.
I don't see
There's
anything. But that's not chip building.
No, this is the normal wear over time, but this is enough to say we're gonna replace it.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, but it's on one side only.
Well, that's the thrust side. That's the side which pushes with the piston down. So let's make sure this says piston number 1. Yes, it does.
Yes.
Let's check out the conrod bearings, okay? Each one has some wear on the thrust side. It's actually worn through the coating. So all of these have the exact same wear pattern. None of them have scratches. The non-thrust side is absolutely clean, but all of them do show a little bit wear on either side. Okay, I think there are Toyota engines out there which don't look that good after 270. So that is basically 0 Newton meters. So in our last install we had like 1 to 2 Newton meters. It's 0 resistance. Maybe 1 Newton meter breakaway, but then when I rotate it, it's half a Newton meter.
So now let's measure the end float.
Okay, this is 0.22.
Now do it real with your gauges.
Measure it real, like Vera wants it. 0.26. So I was off 0.04 of a millimeter. Okay, that's 1.5 thou. Let's take the bearings out.
Oh.
Oh wow, they're not tight. Oh, that one was back. That one was, oh jeez.
Oh my god.
That one was good too. Crankshaft usually snaps. See, this one did not crack.
What the?
We gotta make sure the bearings stay now exactly where they are, because they are matched according to the measurements of the crankshaft and the measurements of the block in the plant. So this one came out with bearing. We can install this bearing again.
Yeah.
Okay, second one.
Your engine failure and you've got a little bit
There
of
is no
wear.
wear.
No?
There is no wear.
So we'll put them on. I don't mess around.
Third one. Well, the positive thing is we don't have to wait for spare parts.
Yep.
There we go.
No,
Absolutely nothing.
That's just oil.
Focus on this now and
Yeah.
don't say funny things.
Okay. Oh, you dropped the bearing.
Crankshaft is perfect.
Don't drop the bearing.
And the bearing was in there like this. See, it has like a shade. Versus this one looks better than a king bearing when it comes out of the box. And
Oh,
I'm
yes.
not lying, okay? Into the oil.
Oh my god.
Then it's okay. One of the things we can definitely improve is getting the broken glow plugs out. That would have been a major debacle to drill them out with the cylinder head installed in the engine. There's always risk of chips getting into the combustion chamber and then ruining everything. So that alone is worth it. And I kind of sleep good now, knowing that our engine with 5W40 is better than all the other engines with 5W30.
Yes.
You guys gonna have to listen to me harassing 5W dumbass even more than before.
And the thing is, we wanted to show you guys what an engine like the TDV6 here looks like after 270,000 kilometers. Yeah. And now you guys know, and everybody.
These engines can last, and these engines got weak spots. We all know that. They got the oil pump, they got the crankshaft. We know this engine is not gonna fail because of a problem with the combustion chamber, pistons, crankshaft, oil delivery system, and so on. The TDV6 from 2005 and 2006 is known to be the best one because it's the weakest one with the least amount of glue yourself to the road measures, emission control measures, okay?
Oh, by the way, we watched The Mother the other day with Jennifer Lopez. Christian didn't even spot the Discovery 4, unfortunately, but it's always that way. The bad guys drive the Range Rover, but there was actually a bad guy driving a Defender. What?
Here, I'm gonna show you the cylinder bores. See?
Oh, don't touch my cylinders.
See, I can rehone the cylinder a little bit.
Oh, they all look pretty.
They look pretty because
Yes,
they don't have honing marks.
Yes, they do. Christian doesn't have to hone anything.
I think they need some honing.
No, they don't.
I can do the honing when you're not around.
Yes, I will be gone for a couple of weekends.
So, what are you gonna do?
Well, don't make the engine worse.
Well, I think they used to be bigger.
It's wishful thinking what you're doing.
Our crankshaft was manufactured on the 30th of March in 06 at 1600 hours, 14 minutes and 20 seconds.
So 4:15 in the afternoon.
I wonder if Larry's shift was already over and, Steve already took over and he was all fresh and ready to go and got everything done perfect.
So it was made on a Thursday.
And on a Thursday, there are no games, okay?
And no burnout.
And no burnout syndrome and nothing. So I think that all has to do with it, okay? Yeah, if they come in on Monday and Manchester United lost again and then Larry has a bad day, his girlfriend was all pissed off on the weekend too, and all this matters, but ours was made in the middle of the week, 4:15. It was probably even sunny. I can look that up on the London airport website. They have it broken down to the minute what the temperature was. And the Dagenham plant is only like 25 kilometers away from the airport. So this is a really good way to find out what the weather was. And I bet it was a beautiful day, probably light overcast sky, because if it would have been sunny, everybody was anxious to get out and nobody was in the mood to work. But it was just one of those nicely warm March days, not completely cold, not raining, so everybody
not
came
freezing.
to work late. It was just a good day, and that's when they made this crankshaft. And as you can see, it's as good as a Toyota crankshaft. It will last forever.
Yep. Look at that. We are measuring the clearance on my conrod bearing, and look at that scale. I have never seen a more confusing scale. Now that we are talking about my Discovery 3, I actually pay attention, and I wish we would have bought all the Mitutoyo. It goes from 0 to 100 and then on both sides.
The reason it goes from 0 to 100 and then it goes back down is to confuse women. Okay, let me show you what I'm doing right now. We got to verify now certain items of this engine to see if it is worn, because it is not visibly worn, okay? And the first thing we do is check the conrod big ends. And the way this is done, everybody knows that, but maybe there are some viewers who don't, is I use my micrometer here and I get it just snug in the working direction on the first conrod big end. Now I know that this dimension represents the conrod I have. Now I'm going to set my bore gauge with this nice scale,
confusing,
which has a 0 here. That's the only thing we all need to see is that 0.
Yes, but it has two 50s.
So I set this up to read 0 now. See, it's kissing the 0 right here. Okay,
Yes.
It's even going a micrometer over, but a micrometer is is something on the inch scale not possible to read anyway, so it's good enough. This now reads 0 at my crank pin diameter. Now all I gotta do is go over here and stick it into that con rod, and then the difference I see is the running clearance being displayed in microns. So my running clearance is 0.055. That's the non-working direction. Now watch it. I turn it now in the working direction. That is where all the thrust is actually landing. So here it is 0.63 in the working direction. All I gotta do now is check in the spec sheet, and it's 0.024 to 0.056. So this is definitely out of spec. You've been driving around with an engine out of spec, risking a major engine failure. I want to say that's all your fault.
Oh my God, it's all my fault.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, we got to do that again because you said 0.6 and not 0.06.
The bearing material layer here is rubbed through all the way to the steel backing. Okay.
Yeah, so three layers.
So it's actually made out of 4 different materials. It has the steel backing, then there is a first layer, an insulation layer, and a third layer. I won't give those layers now names because I wouldn't get it straight anyway.
And also these bearings have an embedding material on the surface which has dirt embedded.
Wow, Vera did her homework. There are coatings which have a suitable embedding material. They can receive particles and embed those particles in the bearing material. That is important on a diesel engine like this. Compared to high performance bearings, they do not have or have less embedding properties, because for high performance bearings, the surface must be much harder to accept the high performance input from the crankshaft. This is not the case here. So if you think you do in your engine something good, if you buy high performance bearings, you are mostly wrong. High performance is short-term use, racetrack stuff. But what we got is long-term use, beat the Toyota drivers stuff. And for that, we need embedding materials, so softer bearings, not suitable for high performance. Was that now a lecture or not?
Yes, absolutely.
And our furnace is pumping pellets into
so it's
the
6
storage.
o'clock in the evening.
Yesterday I said, when we took the engine all apart and stuff, the pistons are looking so great and they're not worn. Today I thought, well, let's measure all that stuff. And it is extremely surprising what I found. Those skirts, yes, they are still there. And they look great because they have no vertical scratches. But they are worn. They are just so evenly worn that it doesn't look like they're worn. But when I measure them, in the same way, I just measured the con rod. So I put my micrometer over this. I get a reading for that particular piston, which is a class C piston. They used A, B, and C. The C is the thickest one already, what they had available in production. And then I go over to the cylinder block and measure the running clearance. I find out I'm out of spec. So I decided I'm gonna buy new pistons. 67 euros right now from Neural in Germany. I think that's an excellent price. Comes with matched piston rings and everything. So done. And now what we still gotta do is measure the main bearing running clearance of this crankshaft, because I intend not to change the main bearings, simply because all the main bearings you can buy are crappy. If I have an in-spec running clearance on this engine, we're gonna keep the original main bearings. So let's do that. I get it all set up now and then we walk you through it.
Good.
So here we're gonna do now a plastic gauge check, and we've done that several times before and have videos about it. So see you in a minute for you. Okay, here's the result under the supervision from Vera. Number 1, we said we are around 0.038. Number 2, just around 0.038. Number 3, perfectly 0.038. Number 4, perfectly 0.038. 0.054 is the limit. We are right in the middle of that window, what they give us. We're gonna keep those bearings. We're not gonna mess around with King, with Phi, with Motiv, with no brand or anything we can find on the internet. You happy too with those?
Yes, I cannot believe we actually took the engine apart to put in the original bearings again.
That's good news. But we're gonna put in new pistons with new piston rings. We're gonna brush hole the cylinder bores, and you know, we're happy that we don't have a damage on the main bearing.
Yes.
So this completes our I Do Cars video this week, stripping down our perfectly working 270,000 kilometer Land Rover Discovery 3 engine. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think this shows that this is not the worst engine on the planet, like we said in another video. If it's run with the proper oil under good maintenance and the crankshaft was made at 4:30 on a Thursday afternoon, this baby is actually working.
Yes.
At this time, we thank our Patreons for their support. They make these videos possible every Sunday, and
We'll see you next Sunday. Also.
I didn't harass Toyota enough, because with this beautiful engine, I've seen from the car care nut Toyota engines which look way worse than this after
But
this
they
phenomenon.
they haven't been taken care of.
Yeah, okay, that's right. They didn't get a single oil change.
Yeah. So
ours got so much loving care from us.
Yeah.
You know, it's already embarrassing.